Rachel. I'm the Writer on Wheels, and today I thought it would be fun to talk about my publishing plans, specifically why I decided to indie publish over traditional publishing. So before we get into it, make sure you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. I think that's all the things. Comment something if I forgot something that YouTubers usually say. Let's get into it. So whenever I have a big decision to make, first thing I do is a pro and con list. And let's go through that today. My pro list and con list for traditional publishing versus indie publishing. And then I can talk about why I decided to go indie over traditional. So traditional publishing pros. As I was starting this list out, it was very, very enticing. There are a lot of big pros here. So first of all, if we're being honest, the only thing that a traditionally published writer absolutely, without a question, has to do is write. Granted, that's true for indie publishing, but we'll get into that later. Your publisher, for a traditionally published author, your publisher is in charge of marketing, cover design, the cost, all of that stuff. Granted, it's still very important and probably a great idea for a traditionally published author to have a website and a Twitter and an Instagram. However, there are still people who do function and are traditionally published without those things. So minimum, you have to write. There's no upfront cost aside from, your time and maybe some self-editing before you query. Yeah, it's just some of the cons of traditional publishing. Also, very big cons, in my opinion. You give up a lot of control for how the cover looks, how your book is marketed and advertised, where it's marketed and advertised, or even when and how it's published. It could be 2-3 years after you sell your book before it hits the shelves. I'm impatient personally, and I don't know that I could wait that long. Yeah, and the other thing is if you're writing a series, if book 1 doesn't sell well, I've heard of publishers just not buying book 2 and 3 and whatever, however long. And you're under contract for those, so you can't self-publish those or take them somewhere else. Usually, that might not always be the case. I do not know, do your own research. But yeah, as someone who's writing a series, that's terrifying for me. Moving on to independent publishing, the big pro that I have on my list, bold, highlight, underlined, freedom for everything. I get to choose my cover, my title, advertising, what the, Twitter and Instagram banners look like. Everything is my choice. And if you know me even a little bit, when it comes to creative decisions like this, I am a control freak. My mom, this is a side story, but my mom, when I was in school and she would help me with school projects and stuff, because, I couldn't always do everything I wanted by myself, so she would just be my hands. I would get upset because she wouldn't understand what I was trying to tell her to do with certain things, and it was just frustrating because what I saw in my head didn't translate. But with independent publishing, I couldn't do it all myself. I don't have a publisher telling me what way to do things, and that's exciting for me. Another pro for me is that I am planning a series. Project Mundane is a, right now, 3, maybe 4 book series, and I know that as long as I keep writing, I will get all of these out at some point, and they will all be published, and the series will be complete, and it'll be great, and you'll love them. I don't have to worry about somebody stopping me from doing this. I am the only person who can stop me, and I'm not going to. Alright, now let's talk about the cons for independent publishing, because there are a couple of big ones here. Let's talk about the smaller one first, and that is almost exactly the same as my number one pro, and that is that I have to do everything. That includes marketing and, search engine optimization and keywords and marketing and stuff that I have no experience doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I never know what I'm doing with anything, let alone trying to sell a book and make money from this. That's terrifying. Thank God for the internet that will help me out here. I hope. Another con is cost. Traditional publishers pay for editors and cover designers and marketing. The writer they don't foot the bill for that. As an independent publisher, I am the publisher. I have to pay for the editor and for the upload fee to IngramSpark and editor and more edits, because I know I'm going to need more edits, and the cover design and all this fun stuff and the marketing, the BookBub ads. The list, I'm looking at a list right now and it's So ultimately, why did I decide to go with independent publishing? For me, the two big things were freedom and time. Time I haven't talked about, but we'll get to that in a minute. Freedom, because I like to be in charge, like I said. I like to have my hand in all the different cookie jars and know what's happening where and how and why, and I just like knowing and being able to have a say in everything, especially when it's something as special to me as this story is, because the story is very near and dear to my heart. I'm putting my entire soul into it, and I want my vision to be how it comes when it's published. Okay, so time played a factor, because as an independent publisher, I can set my own schedule, which is fantastic, because I'm a slow writer. I don't know if that's because of my disability and just having low energy on a lot of days and not being able to write despite writing on the couch on my phone a lot. I don't know. Or if I would be a slow writer if I were able-bodied. Who knows? But I'm a slow writer, and that had to factor in. So I can publish when my books come out, or I can hold them back and rapid release if I want to. That's something that I have not really decided on yet. I still have a ways to go before I need to decide. But it's something that I am thinking about. And with a traditional publisher, I wouldn't really get that choice, and they would set deadlines for me. And I just know that despite needing outside of force to enforce my deadlines, thank God for my accountability buddy, I would be so stressed under those deadlines, because it would stress me out. So I need the freedom to change my timeline and deadlines. So it goes back to freedom again. And that is it for today. That is a couple reasons, or me talking through why I decided to indie publish rather than traditional publish. I hope maybe this was helpful for some of you. This was more stream of consciousness. I did have my bullet points, but it was more of me just talking, trying to get hang of this whole YouTube thing and speaking to my laptop. It's weird. Yeah, let me know down below what you thought, what kind of content you want to see from me, and do you have any plans for the weekend? My name is Rachel. I'm the Writer on Wheels, and I post blogs and videos every Friday at noon. Bye!